And then another man's secret is more so men don't know what they want until they have it. And when I say that, I mean men can say, I want her to dress nice, like I like long natural hair, I like this. They can tell you all the superficial things that they want, but what they need, they don't really know until they have something that they don't need or they don't want, and they're like, this is not for me. Mm-hmm. So it's like men sometimes are kind of like fishing, and they're like, yeah, they really didn't looking like, that doesn't work for me. Oh, this works for me, but that doesn't work for me, and these two together don't work. Let me fish again. So they're fishing and fishing and fishing until they realize that they're in a situation that, for one, is detrimental to them, and for two, is more so like, you don't have enough qualities of what I need, and then the woman asks, well, what do you need? And the man's like, I don't know, but not that. And she's like, so this whole time, like, it's fair for her to say, you've been stringing me along, and he's just like, how? And it's like, no, because that's one of the things you're supposed to do in a relationship. You're supposed to search a person. Mm-hmm. And for one, like, up front, like, when you guys are getting to know each other, you're in the dating phase, the talking phase, whatever you want to call it, it's more so like, what are your interests? Like, that's the time to be like, what do you have that matches up with what I need? Mm-hmm. And it's not more so like I'm looking to use you, but looking to build something. Like, you don't just connect with any power source. Like, if a power source is bad, you can't use it. Yeah. So you search for the right one, and you're like, okay, cool. Like, this is what she has, these things that I need. Do I have what she needs? And vice versa. Like, he has these things that I need. Do I have what he needs? Mm-hmm. And that's the time for you to do that. But a lot of men don't go into that process because everybody's in the honeymoon phase. It's all good in the beginning for the most part, and then reality hits. Mm-hmm. Like, whether that's a year in, whether that's 2 years in. So it's like men are still searching for that thing that they need or that they want. They just haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about that?
Well, honestly, okay, so I feel like I'm a pretty intuitive person, and I would consider myself an empath. Mm-hmm. So just going through my life and being around a lot of different males in my life, including you in middle school. Just and having these types of like very rich conversations, mm-hmm. And diving deeper just below the surface level topics. Mm-hmm. I just feel like most people want depth. Mm-hmm. And as much as a lot of people want to wear a mask, that depth just does not matter. That's not necessarily the truth. And that's where it goes to what you said, that in a lot of cases, a lot of men maybe if they don't know, or if they know what they want, but they don't necessarily know what they need, mm-hmm. until they maybe get what they want and then realize maybe that's good for me or that's not good for me. Yeah. I really do believe that just people in general, not even men, because it's really hard for me to speak on men because I'm not a man. I haven't produced a man. I haven't, birthed anybody, and I don't have, I'm not attached to anyone. I don't have a partner. I don't have a man right now. But I do believe, though, that just in my experiences and relationships and seeing relationships throughout my life, and when I say relationships, I mean more so because I was really only in one serious relationship that lasted almost 5 years. And you really need someone as a human being that you can dive deeper with.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing that deep dive,
Yeah.
like that person that like it's hard to explain. Hold on just a second.
There you go.
So as people, we need someone that we can dive deeper into ourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
But we need that help, like, but mutual help.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help you so much that I'm just giving, pouring into you, and I'm not getting what I need from you.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like, you just can't keep pouring into me, and I'm not, like, helping you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not talking about surface level. Like, I'm not talking about, oh, you buy me these things, you know, oh, I'm pouring into you financially. I'm not talking about all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really surface level.
Yeah.
Like, truly. And, like, we really need, when it comes to, I feel like, a relationship that is sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
is someone that's truly going to help us from the inside out and be with us from the inside out. Because the way I like to look at it is there are a lot of beautiful people out in this world,
Mm-hmm.
on the outside, that are probably, they might have good personalities, they may be good at sex, you know,
Mm-hmm.
all these things. There's a lot of people like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your pick of the litter. There's not plenty of people that you can really, like, dive down with yourself, like, deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and actually come back out on the other side of all that, not only intact,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, at peace. And not just at peace with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but also at peace with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is such a difficult dance, which is why we're not made for everybody.
Exactly.
Which is why we can't, like, we might find a lot of people that may have, like, be so close to being, like, you know what, you have, like, you are so close to being the one for me, I can almost taste it, but there's something off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I feel like
yes.
there's a lot of people that we can potentially find like that in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I feel there are very few people. I don't know how if I believe in, like, there's only one person in this world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that there are, if not, there are very few people in this world, if not one,
Mm-hmm.
if not the very few, that are actually truly meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe, though, that in finding that person, you need to be connected to, like, the spiritual source.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because and now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that there are some people that God connects to their person,
Yeah.
throughout all of their craziness,
Mm-hmm.
to save them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
Sure.
so, you know, in a way, I kind of just contradicted myself, but and I hate when people do that. I hate when people contradict themselves, and that's why, like, truly, life is not black and white.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, definite, like, yeses, there's no definite no's
Mm-hmm.
to any situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do, though, believe if you're on this search
Mm-hmm.
for this right person for you, having a spiritual connection is so important, and truly being open to, like, God's voice and guidance throughout all of it, and also just really being in tune with who you are and what it is that you want outside of the looks, because I do know looks matter. So we're not negating that, but like, what else matters? And that's being like truly real with yourself. That's taking off that mask of, okay, how will the guys validate me? You know, and that's also having faith that, okay, let's say that if you knew that God knows you and he got your back in the looks department, and now it's your job to really dive deep into the other elements that you may need to recognize, because God also knows the other things that you need as well, but you may not know it. You may need to recognize that. Because as we said, there are plenty of beautiful people out here.
Yeah, for sure.
And there are plenty of beautiful, nice people out here. Well-mannered, nice. You know, you may have like passionate, like sex. You may have a very just a lot of tension between y'all. That tension is between a lot of people. But if you truly have faith, and if you're building your relationship with God or whatever spiritual source you're building that relationship with, then I think you'll have faith that they know you. It knows you, and it got your back. And honestly, now you got to do the deep work for yourself. But you also got to kind of like value yourself enough to like, because I feel like for women, ever since we were younger, we were like kind of taught to value ourselves. And guys, y'all are kind of taught to sow your royal oats. And, you know, validation. Oh, man, she's so fine. But, and I mean, hey, to each his own. I honestly, I do not judge. I'm not in any place to judge anybody. But it's just, I like y'all have a lot to value as well. Like, y'all are human. Y'all have a spiritual energy within yourselves as well. Like, y'all can't, like, if y'all are just out here giving your energy to everybody, like, what is that doing to y'all?
I like wholeheartedly believe in soul ties. And I think that's one of the issues with not just men but women as well. Like, you're so quick to give yourself to someone physically because of the attention, or because you are attracted or you are happy, that you get lost in the fact that, okay, cool, the sex is great, but now that it's wearing off the whole euphoric feel of, and it may never wear off, but most of the time it wears off, and you're like, okay, like, now I see who this person is. Like, as you have arguments or as you have disagreements, it's like, okay, like, now I see, like, that's an issue for us. Can we dive deeper beyond sex, like you said? And it takes a certain level of person for you, not just in general like a certain level of person, but a certain level of person for you to be able to, one, recognize what you have on the inside of you, like recognize your potential, recognize your hurt, all those different things, but to be able to sort through them with you without trying to fix you. And that's the key thing. You have a lot of people out there who are take on projects, and I'm guilty of this. I feel like I can fix anything. It's the man in me. Like, I'm a fixer. So you have to recognize, like, okay, like, I'm not here to fix you. I'm just here to help you and carry your cross so you can get healing for yourself. Like, I can't heal you. I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. I can't heal you.
Oh, yeah.
I have to put you, but it's my job as your partner to help put you in the best position to heal along your journey.
And walk with you as you're on that journey.
For sure.
Healing.
Like,
just be there sometimes.
Support. And it's not always something that you say, it's not always something that you do, but it's literally listening, and it's literally understanding the person. Traumas and situations that people have gone through have caused them to be in whatever position they are in life. And we all have our demons to battle. So, like you said, just diving deeper into a person and just understanding where you are in that person's depth. Like, knowing you can go further in it, or knowing how to scale it back. Like, you don't want to go all the way to the bottom of the ocean, and you're not well equipped for that, and not understanding the different depths of the ocean. And they often say, like, I don't know how many species, but it's like a whole bunch of them down there, like, they've never been seen, and the bottom of the ocean has never been really, like, explored. It's just kind of like, oh, we saw this last time we were down there. So you have to know that about a person. Like, when I dive into someone's depths and we're together, you have to understand there's things they haven't seen down there, and there's things you haven't seen down there. So when you're diving, it's important to just look at where you're at when you're in a person's depth, and understand, like, the certain levels that it's going to take and the patience that it's going to take, and understand too, if you're not equipped to go there with a person, you need to stop once you've dove into a certain point. Like, you need to stop. Like, okay, like, I'm not equipped for this. And it's fair to say that at some point, but it's not fair once you've dived all the way into it and you want to be like, oh, I didn't sign up for that, let me not, whatever. You have to understand off rip, like, I'm going into this with you, we're doing life together. There are some things that I'm not signing up for knowingly that is going to come out, because there's different subtopics and branches to everything that people go through. So you have to just understand that, and know that, and make a vow that I'm not equipped necessarily, maybe not now where I am right now, to handle that depth, but I'm gonna stick with it and grow with you and walk with you until I do understand that, and until you understand it and you can help me with it. Like, it's twofold. Like, the person that you're going through it with, they have to understand what's going on at some point, and you have to understand what's going on. And of course, ideally, it's better for the person to realize, oh, this is what's going on. You just handle me like this, or when I do this for me, or say this for me. But sometimes it's you understand and they don't understand. And a lot of times people are trying to be like, you have mommy issues, you have daddy issues, like you deal with rejection issues.
Just trying to kind of diagnose you themselves.
They're kind of like this is what you have, so therefore, like, you need to, like, do this and do that. And it's like, yeah, logically you're correct, but emotionally and spiritually that may not be what they need. And so, like you said, and it's important for you to have that spiritual connection, because as a human, you're flawed. You don't know what to diagnose it with. Even some doctors don't know how to diagnose certain traumas, issues.
A lot of it's just educational guessing.
Yeah, like, literally, like, sitting back, like, okay, so that makes sense. And it's like, multiple choice. Like, you circle whatever is the best answer and you flow with that, which works to a certain extent, but eventually you need that higher power. You need to download whatever that is from God that you need for that person. And that goes into, like you said, it's very few people that you can dive deep with.
And that want to, like, that have the capacity to go there with you. And because as human beings, we are such deep creatures, and mentally and emotionally, we are so, like, just, we are so flawed. We have so much that goes on in our mind. Some of it is truly, like, just crazy. Like, to not even be, like, politically correct, but, like, we have so much going on within us that we don't talk about, that we dismiss, that we put a mask over. And to really truly settle down with someone or to dive deep with someone, and then again, you then dive deep into that person too, that's a lot. And I truly believe we're all one decision away from being truly like put in like an institution.
Yeah.
Like, and working in the mental health field, like, we're not all that different. We're decisions different.
Yeah.
Mentally, a lot of course there are chemical imbalances and stuff like that within, different people. But also, but on the other side, mentally, we're not all that different. How we cope can be different, but we're not too far off. We can make different decisions, but to truly find someone that you can really like go into your darkest, like, and sometimes you can't even go into your darkest self with anybody, and that's fine. But having someone that at least you feel safe around, like, doing that, like, you can even truly go deeper into yourself, and maybe I don't need to go with you, like, but I'm there for you if you need me.
Yeah, I can reach in and grab
like,
you or touch you if you need it.
Yeah, and not everybody, and that can be, it's life. And we're in different stages of life. We're gonna need like, all of that's gonna evolve as we grow. We're constantly evolving. So we're going to need someone who constantly evolves with us on the other hand too, because on the flip side, we also often find that we get with people who sometimes don't want to change, or they don't want you to change.
Yeah.
Like, I got with you because this, and that. And now you're this, and that.
Yeah.
But I want you to go back to this, and that.
You can't fall in love with a version of someone.
Yeah, no, like, either we're on this journey together, wherever that may go, because I'm always going to be evolving. I'm always going to be changing.
Yeah.
But then we all are.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I would hope that we all do, because I always want to grow. And I need someone who's going to grow with me, and I want to grow with someone. And that's not always going to be pretty. And honestly, what's that? Growing pains. Yeah. Growing is not always a beautiful thing. Exactly. And a lot of times it's not. So growing with someone, that's a hard thing. Therefore, it's not meant for a lot of people. For like, I can't be like, oh, there are 10 people over there that I can potentially grow with. No. Oh,
there's 10 people that you could potentially be with, but not grow with. Yeah,
exactly. So it's just like, we have to be truly selective, and not to say that that's an easy process. Like I said, there are a lot of people that, and this is also, I feel, where just being super spiritually connected comes in play, because there are a lot of people that may look like it on the outside, but on the inside, like, there's a lot of deception in this world.
Yeah, for sure.
And whether it's malicious deception, whether it's intentional deception, or whether it's unintentional and you just truly thought that someone was going to be more than what they ended up being to you. And it was just a true, like, it was misconception. Like, you thought something that it wasn't. Yeah. But you have to be, like, the amount of like spiritual depth you need to, like, truly maneuver life successfully and effectively, and in trying to do it with someone else is it's undervalued and overlooked.
Yeah. And really,
and we think we can do it ourselves.
Yeah, like, and a lot of people, I think, when they get in relationships, they, like, a lot of females and even a lot of dudes, they're like, this person values me, and that's the first thing we go to. Like, they value me, like, they pour, like, their time, their attention into me, like, they buy me things, they make sure I'm taken care of, make sure I eat, all those things, of course, nobody is knocking, but it's like, okay, like, what is, like, what you said, that word capacity, like, what is their capacity? Because it's, also, it's another heartbreaking feeling to jump into a relationship and then realize through it, like, yeah, this person does all the service things that I need. They don't have the capacity for what I need, though.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in a situation to where it's like, you're going to be burnt out because you're going to be the one pouring, because if you let someone in and they hit something wrong, they touch something wrong, now that's a whole nother level to deal with, because you're like, now I have to deal with that element of it, and I have to deal with this and this and this, and now that you've seen certain things, now it's even more difficult for me. And I wanted to cut back a little bit into our conversation and bring this up. I know we talked about it separately, but I definitely feel like it's relevant for today, and that's the more so stop seeking people physically first and the celibacy part of it. So just elaborating on that, like, how do you feel celibacy, or even just abstaining from sexual activity for a certain period of time, is beneficial to relationships?
Okay. Well, I think it's beneficial. It goes back to the instant gratification. Well, first of all, celibacy, just to clear it up, because I think a lot of people group celibacy with being a type of person or a character trait, or it's a part of your personality or something. Like, but it's none of that. It's a decision, and it's a discipline. And it's a discipline and a decision that you have to work hard at every day, and sometimes multiple times a day. And you can break that decision and discipline any day and at any point of the day. So for me, I wasn't always practicing celibacy. I always had the intent of doing it. Like especially when I was younger, I always grew up in the church, and of course that has a very big kind of like impression on what you feel about sex before marriage and everything like that. And it just made sense to me. Just when we talk about value and everything, I just thought of it being so beautiful in a sense. It just made it feel great to be like, oh, one day my husband's going to get a part of me that nobody else has ever. And I will say, the first time I had sex, I was very disappointed in myself. And I didn't like that feeling, and I won't. So in the same breath, I don't ever want to shame anybody who chooses to have sex, because I was also in almost a 5-year relationship where it's like on and off wanting to practice celibacy, but not like when it all came down to it, we were not practicing celibacy, nor like I thought I wanted to, but my actions, I'm like, I didn't want to, or I went through moments of wanting to. So it was just, I had just different issues just with what I wanted to do within that relationship myself. So to like, for my ex to like kind of go back and forth with me on that, like, kudos to him, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. But when it comes to celibacy as a whole, I think it's very beneficial, because we all like want what we want when we want it. And it's not a healthy way to go through life. With anything. And we know that. We know that. And we often say, oh, patience is a virtue, but I'm not patient. And it's like a joke. It's like a joke. And it's fine. We can laugh it off, but it's truly like, but really though, patience is a virtue. And it really matters. And it's hard. It's a really hard thing to be patient and to wait for something that you really want. But when it comes to celibacy specifically in a society that is very like sexualized and sex is very heightened within our society, I think what we need to think about is just the fact that when we think about discipline within relationships, celibacy, whether you plan to wait until marriage or whether you plan to wait for a certain amount of time within the relationship, it can help the relationship, and it also helps to build tension, and it helps to also just show, like, to see if this person is really like here for you, because there are a lot of people that won't wait. Now, with me saying that, there are some people, some jerks that will wait
and then
just straight up leave.
For sure.
Now, like, there's an exception to every rule.
Of course, yes.
That's with everything, good and bad. So I'm not negating that, but I think just when it comes to discipline and with every area of life, including discipline within the area of sex and life, it's good. And then, for instance, if you happen to be in a marriage or a relationship where y'all have no choice but to be disciplined, then you have already experienced that. Therefore, you have a higher potential of being successful within that period of time. So if you practice celibacy with your partner, and then say your jobs took you to a different place for a few months, y'all have just higher probability of being faithful to each other within that time. Because so if I was with you and from day 1 or day 2 or day 15 or whatever, we were having sex and you were getting it whenever you wanted, or I was getting it whenever I wanted, and then we went like a week or 2 or 3 or a month or 2 and we had to be away, do I just expect you to grow discipline out of thin air? Now, some people do. Like I said, there are exceptions to every rule. And I mean, you could do that and it just be extremely hard for you. And you hate every moment of it, and like it just be terrible for you. And temptation is like heightened also for you if you've never had to practice that. Or you give in to temptation because you haven't really had to practice that discipline in that area.
I feel like it's very easy to overindulge in anything, but specifically sex, because it's like, especially given the circumstances that we're in now with COVID going on, it's like, there was a joke, it's like, the only thing to do in the house is eat and have sex. Like,
a lot of COVID babies.
It's a lot of COVID babies. Like, I feel like every day I log into social media, I'm seeing someone new pregnant. So, like, with that being said, like, I feel like self-discipline, just in general, reflects everywhere. So you just knowing, for everyone who has had sex, you knowing that I could get it right now, but I'm not. I'm going to deny myself and see where that takes me mentally, physically, and spiritually. You feel better because whenever you have sex all the time, whenever you want it, like, it's more so now when my body feels obligated, I have to give into that temptation.
You feel like more like you're moving off of your temptation and off of your urges. There we go. Not even I won't even say temptation all the time, but you're feeling moved by your urges more than actually creating your actions. It's like actually controlling your actions. Your urges control you. And that's not a good thing to feel. You never want to feel kind of not out of control, but a little bit like, I really felt like I needed it.
Yeah.
I really felt like I needed it, so I had to do it. I feel like a lot of people have been in that place. I know I have.
Yeah.
That's why I never come from this place like, oh, I'm looking down on everybody who's not celibate. Like, that's not the case, because I'm not in any place to judge anyone. But I just, from my experience, I feel like it's just way more beneficial. And not to mention, we've talked about God the whole time, and just spirituality, religion, stuff like that. But just religiously, spiritually, I feel better about that. I feel more connected in doing that. And I feel, if we're gonna get a little religious a little bit, I feel like a lot of times we like to pick and choose what we believe in and what we don't believe in.
Exactly.
When it comes to religion and stuff like that. And I feel like, I mean, to an extent, we still do it. Like, to an extent, I still do it, whether I want to or not. Like, but at the very least, if you feel convicted by something, if you feel like something is just truly not right in your spirit for you, like, follow it, like, go with it. And you don't have to try to talk yourself out of it, because just out, like, in the world, everybody else is looking at you like you're weird, or you feel like more people are just gonna look at you like you're crazy. Like, if something is right for you, it's right for you. If something is not right for you, it's not right for you. But that's where I feel being connected spiritually. Like I said, I've been saying throughout the whole thing, it really does guide a lot of the things that I do. Now, what I can't stand, though, are the people that do crazy stuff and then they try to blame it on religion. Like, that's what
zodiac signs.
I won't. Yeah. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
But I will say, religion, spirituality, that's really big in my life. So when it comes to choices and decisions like that, I try to make sure God is in it as much as possible. And I'm not perfect, and I have so far to go myself, but I really try to do the best I can with the time that I have. Yeah. So, and that's why kind of my music takes kind of the path that it goes. I don't create gospel music, but I make it a point not to cuss in my music.
Yeah.
But I don't really cuss in real life. So, but that's one of those things I tried when I was younger, and I sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
When I sound crazy when I try to cuss. Like, and then I think what made me stop, because I tried for a solid week. And then I went home one day, and I think I almost cussed around my mom. And I was like, I'm not getting whooped for this.
Yeah.
I'm not getting whooped for this.
For sure.
No.
Yeah.
So I nipped it in the bud. And cussing days over.
For sure.
And not to say that one or two haven't slipped out when I've been just in the heat of an argument, which I try not to make happen either, because it's just, that's also not me. But there have been arguments that have taken me out of my character.
Yeah.
No one's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But and those arguments are rare. But just everything that we've spoken of today, I want to highlight it, like, in my music. I want to talk about different relationship experiences in a sexy way, in a sensual way, but in a spiritual way, all in one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be, I don't know, I want to, like, one thing that was crazy you said to me was like, like we were talking about just the song, you were like, I created an experience. My engineer actually said the same thing. He was like, you're good at creating an experience. And I was like, that's crazy. They said the same thing. But I feel like a lot of times, like there's either one thing or another in music. When it comes, like either you're sexy or you're conscious.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a way to be both. Or you're either like talking about a heartbreak or you're like sensual. But like, I just feel like we're complex.
Yeah.
And I want to offer that complexity in those levels. And I feel like deep kind of has different levels to it. It was very interesting that you when you said you thought I was talking about like God at first, when you first heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm gonna play the song at the end, in the credits, as it's going off, so you guys can maybe get a little snippet, maybe like 10 seconds of it. But it definitely is an experience, and if you're like, I'm just a music type of guy in general, but if you really sit there and you're not more so listening to like, I need something to put me in a mood, or I need something to make my head bob, and you actually like sit there and just like no distractions, like you just sit there and you just listen, it literally creates a vibe within itself. And when you hear the lyrics for the first time, it's more so like a lot of things in me were like trying to figure out like not who the person actually is, but who is she talking about, like what experience is she talking about. And like when it got to like, I guess what we call the bridge or the hook or whatever, it was like, is this like, because it's so intimate and it's so sensual, it's like, am I sure she's talking about a person or is she talking about God? Because it had that like relationship, like as if you were speaking as not like I'm God, but it was like from his perspective. And then I listened to it again and I was like, well, I still feel that way, but it feels more so like prophetic. Like I can see, like what you said, I can see the situation, I can see my circumstance with that person, and I can see it now. They may not know it, and it's not pinpointed on a specific person, but I can feel it, and I know it, and I see it. So when it comes,
they'll know it too.
Yeah, you'll know it too, but I've already seen it, so just know that. And just putting that together, and with the beat in the background, it just created like, you're like, oh wow, like you're putting the pieces together, and it wasn't scattered, so it's not like you're like It's literally like oh, like it unfolds during the song, and it's not monotone. It's not one tone. Like you're not listening, and you're like. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a little vibe song. I put this on like when I'm in my room cleaning up. Like, no, like it's one of those things. Like, or when I'm cleaning, I'm like,
let me mop.
Like it's
Someone
not.
get the vacuum.
Yeah, literally, like it's literally an experience. Like you're gonna have different emotions. Cause I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning, I'm like, okay. Then in the break, I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, she switched it up, and I'm like. Just the different elements of the song, you're just like, you get different feelings, you get different versions of you and of experiences, because it's like, okay, like, I can be talking about my heartbreak, one tone the whole song, and somebody could be sad, other people could be like, this is boring, but the way that you're able to express yourself and to fluctuate the emotions in the song really comes off on the person. And it's not like in a bad way to where it's like, dang, like I'm depressed. Oh, now I'm happy. Oh, nope, now I'm depressed again. Like it's really more so like an experience. Like I feel what you say. Like it doesn't feel like it's a bunch of BS. It feels very genuine.
I guess that's what that would be my question. Like, so did it didn't make you feel sad, or like what emotion did it make you feel?
It made me feel very reflective. And I listened to it and I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to it, digest it one time, then I'm gonna listen to it again, digest it the second time. And I was like, then I'll listen tomorrow again for a third time. And I was like, and see really if that's how I still felt as I go to sleep on it. But really, like, I listened to it the second 2 times and I was like, well, now while my mind is going, it's literally like taking me back to situations, taking me back to relationships, and like taking me within myself. And I'm like reflecting, like, wow, like, can I see what she's talking about, and how do I feel like hearing this and this and this, and then adding the musical element into it. It was more so like, how do I express myself that eloquently without coming off as, like, you didn't come off as, like, it didn't put me in a, wow, now, like, I'm aroused mood. It didn't put me in a, now I'm depressed mood. Like, It didn't put me in a particular, like, emotion. It put me into a mood of, like, for me, creativity, and more so, like, now I feel like I need to be expressive. Like, I need to look within myself for, like, whatever I have to say, or for whatever that I'm feeling, and sort things out. And it gave an element of vision too. Like, okay, you see that? Like, what do I see? Like, cause I'm like, if you can see that, like, all right, let me download God, download me something. So, like, literally, that it was just more so like reflective and very optimistic. I'm like, that level of creativity is kind of not recognized. It's like, like on certain songs, like, people want to come off as sexy, like, first. They're like, I don't care what you feel, but I want you to come off as sexy. So every time you listen to it, you feel the same way and you want to play it all the time, and I get my money. And that's not what it grabbed me as. It was more so like, when it came on, it was like, okay, this is very, like, chill, sensual, but it doesn't create, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't create impulsive emotions. It's where it's like, oh, I gotta have this, or I want to do this now, or whatever. It's more so like stimulation in a good way. Like,
oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was very stimulating. Like, it got my mind going. Like, it's like, okay, and then the song ends, and it's like, it ended where it's supposed to, but it left that element of, okay, what's next? Like, what's she gonna flow into after this song, and what is this song gonna, like, be as its own entity? So that's what I really got from it. And I'm really not like just gassing you because you're on the podcast.
He's not. We were in middle school together, and he used to be really mean to me. So I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't say mean.
He wasn't mean to me. I'm honestly, I'm joking.
I was just annoying. And terrorizing. But
terrorizing is the right
for sure
word.
For sure.
But okay, I have one more question, and it's actually going to go into a lyric.
Okay.
I'm actually going to kind of expose the lyric. If you were to hear a song, and it was a song from a girl, and it may or may not have been created for you to hear, or maybe not. But you were to hear someone say, I'm going to make you love me. But
I knew you were going to pick that lyric. Yeah.
But you don't have to believe it. You'll see it. How would that make you feel?
It's kind of like a mind, like, screw. Because it's like, excuse me? Like, it comes off, if you just listen to that lyric, like, not even in your song, but if you just saw that lyric, you would think, who are you? Like, how you gonna tell me what I'm gonna do? Or like, how do you know that? Or I'm not going to because I know how I am. Like, it comes off like that, but
like you don't know.
You said it the way like it was like almost like I said like like not bad, but like hypnosis. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna make you love me. It was like, yeah, like, and you like wait, and you like wait, huh?
You said yeah,
like, wait. I'm like, love you. I'm like, oh, that's where we're going. I was like, okay, cool. Like, but I mean, that lyric itself, like that bar by itself, like could come off very like derogatory, like in a way that's like who are you to say that?
Yeah.
But putting it in context with the song, it's like that's a deeper level of vision and a deeper level of intimacy with God. As you listen, that I listened to the song, that's what I thought about, because it's like only you can get that vision, like from God. Only you know what that is, and for a lot of people, like they don't go in with that mindset. Like, okay, like whoever is coming in contact with me, you will love me. Like, not because, oh, I'm just the bomb.com.
Yeah, but I just see it.
Yeah, because I see it and I know what God promised me. Like,
and it's not, I don't even think it's about what God promised me. And that's the thing. It gets so, like, in depth, like, and complicated. And that's where the song itself gets, it's like you said, it's a mind screw. Because in one lyric I'm saying, I'm gonna make you love me, and then the next lyric I'm saying, but you don't have to believe it, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like, but are you gonna do it? But are you not? Like, am I gonna see? So
and it's more so as a listener, like listening to the female.
Yeah.
You're like, well, how do you know it's me?
Yeah.
Like, what if it's not me?
Yeah.
Like, what if I'm just here?
Yeah.
And you're talking about somebody else? Like, it makes you have so many different emotions, because it's like, well, how do you know? Like, and that's literally what cutoff comes. Like at the end, and you switch tones.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, without going too much into it, it's just like, it's not something that's repeated a whole lot.
Yeah, you dipped your toe in it. Like, literally, you were just like, and we're like, what's that over there? And then you're like, all right, to the next song. And I'm like, no, run that back. Run that back.
It just, this song is very complicated for me. It's very, this one, I don't know, I was a little more self-conscious about this one, and I was self-conscious about that specific lyric.
Yeah, it definitely did not come off across like that. When I heard it for the first time, I was like...
Because I'm not a braggadocious person.
Yeah.
I'm not a braggy, I'm not a Meg type of like...
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm like, that's not... Like, I'm confident. I know... Like, I'm confident in my looks. I'm confident in just myself and what I bring to the table on all levels.
Yeah.
But I'm not a braggadocious person. So saying that in a song is just not like me. So when that lyric came to mind, it made sense, and it was the perfect lyric, but it just was the most uncomfortable thing for me. But and then the build up to it, it was the perfect thing for that. And it honestly, like, I don't know, like, just everything about the song for me, I love it. Because it is so complicated. And then when it does switch up, just really trying to kind of go into, like, with the lyrics, the fact that, because we were talking about deception earlier, like there's so much deception in the world. Like, there are certain things that are not manipulation, that are just more so like, hey, like, I really see this is supposed to happen, more so than anything. but there's a thin line between seeing something's supposed to happen and crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I think that's why I just dip my toe in it, because I'm not like, I don't want to promote this obsessive, crazy. I hate saying crazy. I don't want to promote this obsessive like narrative.
Yeah.
But it's more so just like more so just like, honestly, even when I hear about like artists and like you have a vision for yourself that nobody else sees, there is a level, honestly, of out of this world. That's what I'm gonna say. That you have to have within yourself, because that's not reality. Like, for a lot of people, for a good majority of people. So when it comes to faith and belief, and I'm gonna say it again, faith. There's just a level of out of this world you have to have, but it's like a level, because too much of it, like you're just out of the world.
The lyrics are very layered, and I think the fact that you just dipped your toe in it makes the song what it is. Like, I feel like if you have went too in depth, it would have took away from the song. But the fact that you just was like, and you like stepped away from it, it was like, because it's like one of those songs where you listen and you're like, it's not lengthy, but it's not short. It's like, now I want more. Like, you're looking for the next song. So
I will say, my mom did say, like, I wanted it to be a little longer. I was like, well, that's a good thing, though.
I was like, nah. And granted, I'm always on Summer Walker about it. I'm like, stop making these short songs. Like, give me another verse, like, or make something longer. But they're literally the perfect length, and that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, she knows or recognizes when a song is at its end. Like, you don't extend it, you don't shorten it. Like, when it's at its length, no matter how long the beat is, like, leave it the way it is.
Yeah, and I will say though, I don't have like all short songs. That's actually one of the shorter ones, I think. But definitely, that one just needed to end more, kind of like a cliffhanger, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's other reasons for that. Well, there's actually, no, it ended that way, but going throughout the year, it's also going to be used to dive a little deeper in more. So I'm excited about that. But a lot of my songs are like 3+ minutes. I don't know if that one's 3+ minutes, but
I think it's like two something.
Maybe
2 something. So, yep, and that's what, January 1st, 12 o'clock. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm so excited for you.
Yes, thank you.
For sure.
I'm honestly, the anticipation of this single is more than any of my other work I've ever put out. Which is another, like, when I say I feel like I've been validated more than I ever have with any of my other singles. Not that you have to be validated, but I just feel like at different points on your journey, you have to find some levels of validation. And this is kind of one of those points for me where I'm like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And because the anticipation for the single, like, I actually, not that it's higher than any other anticipation, anticipation is there. It's there. Like, I haven't had anticipation for any other singles. So, and like, my best friend, she likes my music. She's never done this, but she's like, Tyaunna, can you just please send me the song? Like, because she just heard snippets on Instagram. She was like, I just really like it. I like what I've heard so far. Can you just please send it to me? So she was my best friend. I was like, I haven't even sent it to my sister yet. And my sister asked for it. And I was like, okay. But I sent it to my sister first because I couldn't send it to her before my sister.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I sent it to my sister first, and then I sent it to my best friend, which, like I said, she's never done that. And she was even like, she got back to me. She was like, I don't know what you did. Different. Keep doing it.
Why does it do it again?
She was like, I love this.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm really excited. And this is one of the first ones I actually like. I love. I listen to it every day.
So can we get a visual? Can we get some type of visual to go along with the song?
Everybody wants, like, everybody that hears either a clip or the whole song is like, we need a video.
I mean, not immediately, but you should think about it for real.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
I think it needs one because literally, like, not only like I see, but like everybody that also hears it is like, it needs one. At some
Especially
point.
when you put the clips on Instagram and you have like yourself or like something else. It's like, okay, like now you're painting the picture for me. You have to finish that. Like,
yeah. Well, it will have like some Instagram visuals. Like, I'm getting some of those together, which is like a whole other thing. Yeah. Because I do all of that by myself. So like all this promotion and stuff like that. Someday I'll have a team.
Literally.
Right now.
I can't wait for that day.
Someday I'll have a team. Right now it's just by myself. But honestly, it's truly building. What did my dad always used to say? Dad being in the military. Yeah. It builds character.
Yeah, it builds character.
It builds character.
I'm like, Dad, I got enough character for everybody.
Yeah, truly, it's fine though. I'll keep doing all my photo shoots myself. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. No, one day, truly though, I do believe though, you have to work with what you got. You do. You have to work with what you got. You got to do the best with what you have. And if you can prove that you're responsible, that you can take care of what you got and actually further it, then you'll get more.
For sure.
So there's more coming.
Good. So as we close this out, I gotta ask you a scenario. I didn't make it too hard. Maybe I did. Now that I'm thinking about it. But pick one. If you had one music video to watch for the rest of your life, what are you watching?
One music video?
One music video to watch for the rest of your life.
No. Oh no. Oh god. You made this one hard.
I thought about, because somebody asked me this question, and I was like,
a music video?
They were like, yeah, if you have one music video, because they were like, what's your favorite music video from, I think they asked me from Chris Brown, and I was like, that's hard for me. Like, I like all his videos for the most part. And I was like, And it was like, but if you had one video to watch for the rest of your life, would it be one of his? And I was like, probably not. Probably not. And for me, I know my one music video probably to watch for nostalgia purposes and because of where the music video comes from would be Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson. I just love the art, the setup of the video. I love the outfits. I love the vibe. I love the song, the lyrics. Everything was so fitting for it.
Gosh.
And it's
that was a good one.
It's musically imprinting. So it's like it's not like that's one of the music videos that you gloss over. That was big. Yeah. Like gravity defying. Like nobody knew. It's like, how do you lean like that? Like all that. For me, it would definitely be Smooth Criminal.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. Oh man. You're taking me back to the days when I used to watch music videos on YouTube all the time in elementary school and middle school.
Yeah, I think my runner-up was like Thriller.
Oh,
because that was literally like a movie. So.
Oh, you know what? Okay, because it made me cry, even though at the same time people made fun of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But just because, and also my personal connection to the topic and the fear of it.
Mm-hmm.
Your Side of the Bed by Trey Songz.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Because she went off to war
Mm-hmm.
and she died.
Yeah.
And he broke down when they told him.
Mm-hmm.
And that, when I saw that made me cry. Because I remember that fear.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that fear. And so I remember, that's the only one that stood out to me
Mm-hmm.
when you asked me that question. Not that Michael Jackson's aren't iconic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Not that his is not iconic.
That it's not in the, even on the same, like, realm.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to take yours. And also, just, like, to make a more personal connection, I think that one would be mine. Because it just, because when you first hear Your Side of the Bed, you think more so just like a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear or you see the actual video and you realize what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
And being so connected to the military, like all my life,
Mm-hmm.
being an Army brat, living overseas, and having my dad deployed majority of the time over there,
Mm-hmm.
or at least half of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fear, definitely.
Yeah.
And just for them to put that in the video, and then, but on the flip side, it being a woman, I think it was Carrie Hilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had it from the time, like, they were sitting on the bench. The fact that I still remember that video and I haven't seen it in so long, I think that's why it would be.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I also like his iPhones video. That one, whenever he gets caught cheating, and she like tries to kill herself and like dives deep into like the pool, and he goes after to get her, and like when he gets there, like it's like she officially lets go, and he brings her up, and she's gone. It was so like, it was great. Like it when you listen to the song, it's like, okay, the song's okay. The song is good.
Yeah.
But the music video like intensifies it by 10.
See, and I can't wait to get to that stage
Mm-hmm.
in my career where not only am I able to put out more and more music, because that in itself can be expensive. And
Yeah.
I'll do it more. I know more doors will be opening on that end, but where I can create visual experiences on top of just sonic experiences.
For sure. We look forward to that.
Yeah. But yeah, those are, I love tearjerkers. I do. I love things that make you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
I do. So I think those are solid.
Not what I was expecting, but I like that answer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Thank you.
So yeah, closing out, this is Tyaunna Cleveland. The single comes out.
Go as Tyaunna LeNelle. I know you don't. You go, you know as Tyaunna.
Oh my God. Tyaunna, yes, Tyaunna LeNelle. Yes, I'm sorry. Let me get the celebrity's name right. Tyaunna LeNelle. On Instagram. Single comes out New Year's Day, 12 o'clock a.m. So as you guys are, celebrating New Year's, throw that vibe on for sure. Or listen to it after you hopefully social distance if you go out.
Yeah.
Look at fireworks.
It's more of a slow, like, sensual vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Might have you reflect a little bit, as Mike said it.
For sure. All right, y'all. That's another episode of the Rapper Cap Podcast. As your host, Mike the Young OG. You can follow the podcast page on Instagram, RAPORCAP Podcast. And follow on Twitter. Just remove the T and add the 1 instead. Follow me at Mike the Young OG on Instagram. And that's another one. We out.
Can I help you along? What was once intangible, incomprehensible?